Beer sales have been way up during the pandemic, but small craft breweries get the majority of their business from their tap rooms. With that model eliminated during the lockdown, they've had to quickly adapt in order to stay afloat. Adam Pinsker reports on how the craft brewing market is evolving and whether it will be enough to keep the industry from collapsing.
On June 15th, Switchyard Brewery opened its doors to walk-in customers for the first time since March 17th, when Governor Eric Holcomb ordered all bars and restaurants to be closed because of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Or in less than 12 hours, we reinvented our business model and we became a delivery and curbside service.
But sales from to-go beer service started to dry up after restaurants began reopening around Monroe County.
Because Switchyard does not have a kitchen, we were classified by the state of Indiana as a bar. And so we were put into phase 4 of reopening.
Switchyard owner Curtis Cummings decided to diversify by purchasing equipment to can beer and sell as six-packs, in addition to the crowlers he was already selling. Industry experts say fallout from the COVID-19 pandemic could remake the craft brewing industry altogether.
60% of our members don't have a restaurant. It's not a brew pub, it's not a whatever. Then we have a bunch that have small kitchens. I think you're going to see some folks make a decision maybe to put a kitchen in, maybe not.
Executive Director of the Brewers Guild of Indiana, Rob Caputo, says in order to survive, breweries may find themselves doing events like virtual trivia or opening on Mondays and Tuesdays, days these restaurants are typically closed.
I think it's going to be a challenge to see how things come back, when they come back. And will folks feel comfortable even going out into large crowds?
It's a different story for Our Lady of Perpetual Hops, a brewery down in New Albany. They were able to open in mid-May because they serve enough food, but getting business back on track hasn't been easy.
First 2 weeks were pretty strong considering that, but these last 2 weeks have really gotten pretty soft.
Co-owner Greg Wortham says his brewery also got into the canning game to generate some extra revenue, and because there is such a shortage of crowlers. He believes the recent slowdown in business is due to restaurants and bars opening up across the Ohio River in Louisville.
And at first, Kentucky was not open. Indiana was, so I think we were getting some people from Kentucky too.
With 10,000 square feet at his disposal, plus an outdoor patio, Wortham doesn't anticipate social distancing being an issue, but he worries that other non-COVID-19 related problems could hurt his business.
They've closed the main artery, Grant Line Road, to get to us, so that's going to be closed for 2 months. And you can still get to us, but you got the detours.
And Rob Caputo with the Brewers Guild says Indiana breweries may face more COVID-19 related roadblocks in the near future, especially if there isn't yet a vaccine.
I think the fall and the winter, again, is probably going to dictate, that social distancing if it's still heavily required. I think that's going to be the challenge when there's not people sitting outdoors.
At Switchyard, Cummings is already adapting to the changing climate by retaining beer pickup and delivery for those not yet comfortable with visiting his business, and the brewery also teamed up with Indianapolis pizzeria King Dough to add pizza to the kitchen. Cummings said he'd rather adapt than lose his business.
This is kind of a wake-up call to a lot of us in terms of beer quality, the customer experience, your position in the community.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Adam Pinsker.
The Brewery Association reports new business models and government support through PPP loans have helped increase optimism among its members. But the group cautions that 17% of breweries that responded to a recent survey said they were unsure, if not actively pessimistic, about whether their businesses would make it through the end of the year.